Through the mist we rise, a force unbroken, with banners high and hearts awoken. The sound of pipes, our war is calling. Like thunderous waves, our duty is falling. Stand tall, together we fight, with courage bound in every breath. We'll fight like lions, defy our death. In unity our hearts shall sing the legacy of warriors through every reign. With battle cries we forge our fate, in fields of valor we elevate. As shadows loom, our spirits gleam. Brothers in arms, we are the dream. Fearless, we take the night, with courage found in every breath. We'll fight like lions, defy our death. In unity, our hearts shall sing the legacy of warriors through every reign. As dawn breaks, we know our name.
Do we really know our name, Eric? I don't know. I stayed up pretty late last night, and I'm sure you burnt the midnight oil too. So, that being said, we are going to have an open mic Saturday paranormal coffee talk. Anybody and anyone that is in the chat that wants to come on for 15 minutes or so and discuss any type of paranormal encounter that they had, it could be anything. Okay, it could be anything from UFOs to alien abduction to Bigfoot sightings to dogman sightings to ghosts, goblins, shadow people, you name it. Okay, if you want to talk about it, that's what we're going to do today. Okay, that being said, I am going to get into the disclaimer, and it has something to say like this. The copyright disclaimer is this channel may use some copyrighted material, but we try not to, because all of our music and our intro and outros and stuff are our own sole copyrighted material to be used without specific authorization of the owner, but contends that it falls under the fair use, which is the Copyright Act of 1976. Nighthawk High Strange's podcast channel and all the podcasts on the channel declare fair use of any and all content to be used for the purposes such as criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, research, parody, and entertainment value under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. All right, that being said, I am going, oh man, what happened to it? Let's see here. I got to post this and read this also, apparently. All righty, come on, computer. There we go. And of course, something's in my way. As always, I claim fair use on all content under Copyright Act of 1976. Furthermore, I wish to acknowledge that not all opinions and theories mentioned during the podcast are not necessarily the opinions or views of the Nighthawk High Strangeness podcast channel or William Nighthawk, me, aka me. We at the Nighthawk High Strangeness YouTube channel and Facebook channels merely bring the open format to discuss the possibilities of topics happening in the past, present, and future. Please join the Nighthawk High Strangeness YouTube channel family by subscribing, and please hit the like button. Join the chat family. Be respectful and please put all questions in capital letters. Thank you. All right. So let's see here. Let me get that off of there. And we are going to say hello to everybody in the chat and see if anybody wants to come on. I'm sure Eric's already taken down names. If
no, I'm fighting with a
anybody wants
dog
to
right
come
now.
on about their encounter.
16.
So let's see who we got in the chat.
Come on, dude. Oh, you just. Okay, look, I love you, bud, but you're ripping everything out. You're being a pain. I can't hear nothing because you ripped it all out of my ears. Hold on, guys. Sorry, snow's being snow.
All right, who we got in the chat here then? It's being snow again. All right, let's see. We got coming in first place. We have, come on now, if my computer would work. Good Lord. Urso, first place. And then that fluffy guy. Roxanne, good to see you. All righty, let's see. We have Rhonda. Good to see you. Jonaside, good to see you. Let's see who else we got in here. We got Corey. Good to see Corey. We'll have to get Corey on because I know he's got some weird stuff that he needs to talk about and get off his chest.
Corey's got weird
see,
stuff.
Who else
Corey
we got?
is.
We got Soundwave. We got Squat's topic. Good to see you, Josh and Jessica. Let's see. David's in the house. I know David's got some stuff he wants to get off his chest today. Let's see. Or Melissa. Marcy, good to see you. All right. Who else we got? I'm going to keep going until I can't no more. I'm sliding off my chair. Bounty, good to see you. Okay. All right. Anybody else out there? I know I'm going to forget somebody. And there's probably a lot of people that slept in today, as wish I could have. But unfortunately, our feral cat situation here, Eric, went from taking care of one cat and occasionally a second one periodically to full-blown cat invasion. It's like the planet of the freaking apes here when it comes to cats. And I'm telling you, man, definitely have your pet spayed and neutered because damn, man, old guys like me get stuck on a limited income feeding these animals because nobody else has the balls or the adulthood and responsibility to take care of them here locally. So, that being said,
I think I'm going to have to get me another little end table. I think I'm going to get me another little end table because Snow's getting way too spoiled. So I had to fix him up with the soft and comfy spot for his little co-author spot. So now he has a pillow on my desk, taking away more space off my desk so that he can sit here with me as I'm writing and doing live podcast. And he's just over there looking at me, shaking his tail like,
that is too funny. That is hilarious.
Yeah, he got a bunch of stick ties. Now he's got his stick tie all over his fur, so I'm going to have to go through and trim that off now. But, yeah, so I guess I'm going to have to spend some money and get me another end table. Oh, no. That sucks, Jonaside. Hey, thanks, Bounty. Yeah, he's being a pain. He's being a pain. And but no, yeah, I mean, last night, man, I went to bed shortly after the show because I did a 2-hour show for the first ever authors workshop that I did with D.A. Roberts and talking about his books and his writing and stuff. And then right after that, I went into another show with you. So, man, by the time we was getting done with your show, I was sitting there going, "Oh my God, I can't keep my eyes open." And then I was like, "Okay, I'm going to sleep." Yeah. And then I was like, "Okay, I'm going to sleep in this morning." So I finally get to bed around 12:30, 1 o'clock. I wake up at 7 o'clock. and I can't go back to sleep. I'm like, damn. So I got up, made me some coffee.
Jacob woke up in the middle of the night and wanted to go outside to the bathroom. So there we are outside at like probably about 1:30 in the morning, walking him. And I didn't get to sleep till probably 2 a.m. or 2:30, something like that. So terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just got up, made coffee, fed the cats, fed the dogs, fed the fish, came in here and went to writing. And I got chapter 10 because I'm trying to get caught up. I've been behind because of injuries and all that other stuff I've had going on, man. I'm so far behind on my writing. I finished chapter 8 and 9 yesterday. Just completed chapter 10. Whenever you was like, "Hey, you coming on live?" I went, "Oh crap!" Okay, it was 4. I just looked at the clock and it said 9:04. You know, I thought I've only been writing for a couple minutes, and then all of a sudden, no, I've been writing for a lot longer. And as I was coming on, I was counting my pages on chapter 10. I was like, holy crap, I'm already on the 8th page. It was just flowing.
Jeez.
You know, I was listening to my Norse music that always, when I'm writing, I love listening to my Norse music, or I listen to Native American music. So I've always got that playing, and I mean, just words get to flowing. They just get to going. And I love it. So, I mean, that's what I was. I was caught up in that Norse music, just typing away. Next thing you know, because I'm carrying on a whole conversation here between the characters. I'm lost in my characters with the conversation. And yeah, 8 pages flew by quick, and so did an hour.
Yeah, I'm just. No, I didn't have a busy day or anything yesterday because you know me, lazy as hell. But it's one of them things that it was a stressful day dealing with all these feral cats around here and other minor things going on throughout the day. So it takes its toll. It does, and I don't know whose cats these are, but my God, somebody's got to frickin' do something about it here. Because, like I said, it went from taking care of 2 cats. One of them died recently, so it went back to 1 cat. And then we started seeing this other cat around, and then we have the neighbor that lets their cats out. And whenever their cats get out, they always come over to our place to eat for some ungodly reason. But it is what it is. We take care of them, we feed them, so they don't go hungry. And next thing we know, there's like multiple kittens next door to us that are just, and they're insanely adorable. But there's Mama Cat with all these kittens and some orange cat that we've been trying to get rid of for the longest time. It keeps on coming around, that I know is the daddy of all of them. So it's insane. It is literally like the kitty cat Planet of the Apes here. It really is. We shouldn't have a rodent anywhere around this property. We shouldn't have any birds, but yet we got plenty. We got plenty of birds. So I don't know.
So instead of having a tiger sanctuary, you got a putty tat sanctuary.
Yeah,
We're going to have
pretty
to
much.
make a little sign that there says, "I think I saw a putty tat. I did see a putty tat. The putty
Yeah.
tat sanctuary."
It's insane though. It is literally insane the amount of cats that are here. People must be dropping them off. You know how they drive out into the country and just drop cats off in the middle of nowhere and let puppies off. I got a funny feeling people have been doing that lately.
Oh,
so because it has skyrocketed in numbers. So, but that being said, oh God, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh my God. See, I told you I'm tired. Anyways,
I need to get with you. I need to get with you when I get back to work on the life of Snow Fox, the Lakota book I'm working on, the Lakota Warrior Snow Fox, because I got to get a bunch of I'm having a hard time finding all the legends of Lakota history dealing with, the supernatural and stuff like that. I remember I used to be able to find them left and right. Now you can't find them anymore. So I'm going to have to get with you when I get to working on that book, because I'm trying to keep that as historically accurate as possible. This takes place before the approach of the white man. This is back when Snow Fox was alive, was prior to white man.
Okay. I like prior to white man. It's a shame. I miss those old days.
Heck yeah. I don't know what book
all
I'm
right.
going to work on next. I'm probably going to leave it up to the people, but I'm definitely getting this one here finished. But I've got shit somewhere around 13 other books I've got to work on after I'm done with this.
Good morning, Ida.
Yeah, that's no kidding, Corey. That is no kidding, Corey. You used to, I mean, I've done it before back, years ago when I was doing research. My God, you could find everything. It's quick, easy. You had access to it. You had contacts to people you can get hold of. I remember when I could call up a nation and they was like, yeah, man, this is this. Cause I'll tell them, hey, I'm doing research on this. I'm wanting to know from your guys's point of view, because your guys are the ones to talk about it. What is this to you? And what does this mean? And people would talk to me. Sometimes they'll be like, well, excuse me, guys, sorry. But most of the time they were pretty nice when you called it. Yeah. And nowadays they don't want to talk. When I try to call up a nation to ask them, their insight on these things, they're like, oh. So I'm guessing because all these fake researchers and fake podcasters really ruined it, which sucks. I try to get a hold of my kin that lives on the Red Rock, because I'm wanting to get, pick their brains on stuff. Oh my gosh, hold on. And it's even hard to get a hold of them. We're kin.
Yeah. Last night I was so wired after drinking a whole pot of coffee and doing that late podcast with you that another reason I didn't fall asleep right away is because of all the caffeine going through my body and having to get up and go into the bathroom every half an hour. But short of that, TMI, I know. Short of that, I actually did another song so on the app, and I'm just, I don't know. I got to quit doing that. So I was trying to perfect it last night and kept on deleting it and redoing it and editing it and then deleting the whole thing, all starting all over again. I was back and forth the whole night practically. So, but it is what it is. I want to see if we can't if Carl's in the chat. I want to talk to him too a little bit today and see what he's got going on, because he's always got something going on. Corey, if you want
him in the chat.
Yeah. Corey, if you want to come on, Roxanne, Urso, anybody wants to come on, please, Bounty, let us know. And it's strictly, it's going to be open mic Saturday. Okay. Tomorrow's topic, we're going to get into the whole Hat Man and the red eye theory and Mothman and all that. Okay. Basically, the shadow realm is going to be tomorrow. So it'll be based on a lot of supernatural stuff. But we'll bring people on also that have had certain experiences dealing with shadow beings and all that. But today I want to bring everybody on that's dealt with cryptid encounters, paranormal encounters, whether you are a paranormal investigator, if you've had weird stuff happen, aka David Lester and the ECBRO group, or anything along that lines, just let Eric know and we can bring you on for 15, 20 minutes and let you get it off your chest. Nobody's going to be judgmental here. We all are family, and everybody's going to be respectful in the chat to everybody's opinion and theories, because that's what we are, we support each other. So that being said, I saw something. Ask Joe Walsh. Right. Corey, only you. Only you, bro. Morning, Robert.
I admit, I like writing my own songs, and I use it. Oh, Robert's got a story. Okay, Robert. Oh crap! Oh crap! Oh crap! Shit! 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 Crap! Damn it! I knocked over my coffee cup.
Mm-mm. That's it. I'm calling the coffee police on Eric. Hold on, guys. I'm calling the coffee police on Eric. He's reckless and endangerment with coffee right now. So we got to call the cops on his ass and get his fluffy ass in jail.
Robert, the link is in the chat if you want to come on and share your encounter. And all I got to say is, man, I ain't getting taken by no 5-0.
This is a battle of the sound effects.
I know, man. Well, I moved it because Snow wanted to be right here where I usually keep my coffee cup. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to have to move everything so he can come in there. And then next, I forget it's right here. And I went to grab my notepad and bam. Yeah, I get ding dong points for that one. But, yeah, Robert, if you want to come on, the link's in the chat. Hit that link, set it up. We'll bring you on for 15 minutes. You can tell us what you got going on. Hey, Mr. L. I don't have the mushroom coffee yet. I have been tempted to try that, but I'm very, very picky because I only want natural stuff. And I'm very worried about getting fake stuff. Oh, I just got a weather alert. Dry, warm weather in the future. Oh. Yeah, because I was wanting to mix some of that with my regular coffee, Mr. L. And, oh, did William freeze up or am I froze up? Is it William who's frozen or am I frozen? Oh, now here. Okay. We'll keep going until he can get back in. But yeah, I'm wanting to try that to mix. Some people say you can mix that with your regular coffee, and it's a really good combination. Some of it just drink the straight up mushroom coffee. I'm wanting to mix it with my coffee. I'll put you back over here so I don't knock you over again. That's what I do. A half a teaspoon blend with my regular brew plus coconut sugar and half. Yeah, I don't usually do the sugar. Sometimes if I do put something in, it's like honey, just because of my allergies, and I like honey. I don't know if I got a cricket sound wave. Let me see here. Nope, but I got this. We'll wait on William to see if he's coming back in. It happened when I was 17. I was visiting my cousins. They lived way out in the South Carolina. It was 6 of us. We were walking the trail with our flashlights on Friday night. I was walking in front. Okay, this is sounding good. I can't wait to hear some more of this, Robert. Eric, you sound like you're having. Yeah, Marcy, I am. My allergies are acting up. They were pretty good yesterday, but I didn't take my meds yesterday because I was doing good. I woke up the morning and they seemed like they was doing good. Now they're starting to act up again. So I'm going to have to, when I get done a little bit, go pop me some allergy meds. But I'm waiting for this honey, see if it'll kick in. Excuse me. If I stay drinking the mushroom blend, it keeps me from allergy attacks in the spring and fall. It's very supportive. Yeah, I want to look into it. Hey, if you wouldn't mind, like email me the stuff you use, Mr. L, because I don't want that fake stuff that's out there. I want the good stuff. My hubby can drink that coffee from truck stops. Some of that should be used to pay for. Yeah, no kidding. There's Brother William. Yeah, we used to drink stuff in the Marines that you can literally stand a spoon up in it just to keep us going. I will have a spooky time next weekend. Oh yeah, my cousin was on the right side. Something caught my eye and left the left side 4 feet away, about 8 foot tall, yellow eyes. The horrible smell. Oh, I think I know where this is going. I use essential oils that really helps my allergies. Natural honey. I've got a person that harvests natural honey just down the road. It's got to be from your local area, so I use them. So many messages get held for review that don't require. I send a lot of good real stuff from the field. Oh yeah. Yeah, I need to get back on and see what you've uploaded, Josh. I haven't had a chance to do that. The spooky time is sitting there right now. Yeah, I've got a busy week next month between the Bigfoot conference. I've got to go up to St. Charles for a few days for a work deal. Yeah, I've got a lot of stuff going on next month. Yes, essential oils are absolutely. Yeah, I love essential oils. Yeah, but yeah, I want that. I want to get some of that natural mushroom stuff and try it. Yeah, I use them in my diffuser as well, Marcy. I haven't done it in a while because I'm out of the distilled water. But yeah, I tapped my cousins and they already knew. And then I say on the second run, we all ran fastest. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was sorry. I was giving the. Oh, okay. There we go. David and Melissa is coming in. I'm going to try it too. I mean, I got to be careful. Your chomper monsters. Yeah, see, and Robert, that has been a. Give me a second, David and Melissa. I'll put you guys up here in just a moment. I'm going to finish talking to Robert real quick. Yeah, and that's a very common thing, Robert. A very very common thing, and I can't fault you for that because I mean, a lot of people don't like talking about it. That's why I have my Saturday shows. Campfire chats with Eric and guests is give a safe place for people to tell their encounters. That's why we do it here on William's show too. So, and we understand. We understand. It's we lived it. We've all lived that too. So, I get it, man. Uh, hey, David, how's it going, bro? Uh-oh. Hold on a second. You are muted for some reason, and I can't unmute you. Why can I not unmute you? Can't unmute your guest. Their mic is. Oh, your mic's not connected. I would say more along the lines of a Bigfoot or a Dogman, Robert. judging by your encounter, what you're saying, I'm going to put that more towards a Bigfoot or a dogman encounter. I don't know if he was able to catch it with all your issues you was having, William, but him and his family, Robert and his family were traveling. They came across something about 8 foot tall, yellow eyes, had a bad smell in the tree lines. And he asked if it was an SW, but with the smell, the height, and the eyes, I'm leaning more towards Dogman or Bigfoot. What do you think, bro?
All right.
No, there you are.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Nope. There we go.
Now can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, buddy.
All right, there we go.
But William, what's your thoughts on Robert's encounter? What do you think it is?
I didn't even hear any of it. I was fighting to get back online, man. I completely lost the connection.
Oh well. Now stay off my keyboard. Sorry, Snow was being jealous and walking across my keyboard. I don't know if he. Okay, so far he didn't jack nothing up. Let me get back to the top, William, and I'll kind of reread it for you. Give me a second. It happened when I was 17. I was visiting my cousins. They live way out south in Carolina, way out in South Carolina. It was 6 of us. We were walking the trail with our flashlights on a Friday night, and I was walking in front. My cousin was on my right side. Something caught my eye on the left side, 4 feet away, about 8 foot tall, yellow eyes, horrible smell. I tapped my cousins, and they already knew. And then I say, on the count of 2, run. We all ran fast as shit. And then he goes, I never even told my best friend. He goes, he asked if it was an SW. He goes, the smell though. And that's why with a lot of that, to me, like I said, it leads to either a dogman or a Bigfoot. Makes a really astute point in the Wall Street Journal politically. What's an incident back in 2001, 2002? Now you're being a pain, Fluffy Butt. Obviously, give the credit to Democrats for being united.
Yeah, Luna's being a pain too.
Internet
Oh, you lost connection again?
Yeah, it keeps on losing. I keep on losing. It's all gargled. I hear one word and then I don't hear anything. And then I hear another word and then I don't hear anything. It's ridiculous. It's insane. So I don't know what's going on.
Okay, yeah. Oh, Fluffy Butt, stop. David, what do you got for us today?
What have I got? Can you still hear me?
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
TV and you.
Because my mic button every now and then to go unmute, then it come back on. I guess it might be a connection from your old then.
Yeah, earlier was saying your mic wasn't connected, so I don't know if you got a loose connection or what.
I'm not sure about that. Weird things today. No, I just wanted to go over a few things from this last camp out that hopefully my lighting's all right daytime. This room doesn't light up very well. Hair's okay. I mean, I tried to comb it before it came on, so I mean, we'll see how that goes.
Hard to comb a hat.
Before we went out. I mean, I don't know how he did it or whatnot, but he made the comment the week before in one of the chat areas that he guarantees we're going to experience things when we went out this time. We had a lot of electronic issues with our radio equipment and a couple of other things. I've never had that experience before. I've been using camera and lights and all that stuff for many years. I've never had a situation where batteries would go dead and then re-energize on their own. Uh, I don't know what had been causing all of that. Uh, when we went out on the camp, during the camp out. Well, let me back up a minute. This campsite we were at, that's the third time being in this one particular camp out. We were there this past May and we were there this past fall. So nothing changed in the location. The last two campouts, we didn't have anything happen as far as any kind of abnormal electronic communications type things. Everything is pretty much normal in that aspect. This part of the Shenandoah Valley, if you go do some research here in the George Washington National Forest, there's a history of a lot of strange happenings and sightings in this area. This area that we camped at, I've told this before real quick. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on it. Last fall, a couple from Pennsylvania, about a half a mile from us at a gate you got to park at to walk to the lake. The wife of the gentleman seen something walk across the road. It wasn't a run across the road. It wasn't a bear and it wasn't a person. This was daylight time. And could that have been a Bigfoot? Possibly. We just have to go by what she explained to us. I'm in the area of believing that what she saw was not normal. Now, these people, I mean, they've got some area background in the FBI and stuff and training and all that other stuff like that. So she wasn't well versed on wildlife, but nothing stands up like a man that runs across the road, not even a bear. They might hobble a little bit before they have to drop to all fours and run. If a bear's going to fight something or get out of the area, they're not going to run on two legs to leave. With that aside, last May in this area, another individual, Drew, from Pennsylvania, from Richmond, Virginia, saw two entities he could not really describe out in the field where we left him at while we continued walking to the gate. This year was at nighttime. He was about a quarter mile from camp, and we were about a quarter mile from him at that point. Terrified him, he ran back to camp. Melissa called us on the radio. Melissa's at work, by the way. She's not here. Somebody's got to support the family. Got to have that money coming in. Just kidding. Don't tell her I said that. But anyway, he ran back to camp. Melissa told us on the radio what happened, so we started heading back to camp. When we get about 200 yards of the area where he had this sighting of these entities, seems like it's getting darker in here. I seen a light in the woods about maybe 35 yards from us, about 3 to 4 foot off the ground, about 6-inch diameter. It wasn't very big. It wasn't projecting any light. It was just like a pure white light. It had a crisp edge around it. I observed it for about 2 seconds. I told Daniel. Daniel looked over. He seen what I was looking at. And about 2 seconds later, it flared up a little bit and then went out. I don't know what that was. I've never seen anything like it before. I've heard of lights in the sky and people see and the lights in the trees and lights going across fields, what they call orbs and stuff like that. This is the first time I experienced something like this, but it was so close. It's changed my mind a lot on what are these people seeing out there that people need to get out and investigate. I've never seen anything like it. Well, anyway, all those 3 incidents happened around this general location of where we were camping at. Now, this last camp out, one night, me, Daniel, and Drew went out on a hike, and we had Luna with us at the time. It's probably about maybe 9:30, 10 in the evening. And our radios started acting funny. I got a call on the radio. There's a call button on there where you press on these walkie-talkies to call everyone at the same time if you're in a group setting and stuff like that. You select each group. I'm not going to get detail on that. I called back to base. They said they did not key any mics. So I don't know why that went off. Could that have been a natural interference? I have no idea. But then when I got to talking to them, they were saying that they were having batteries go dead back at camp at random with different radios. I left one of my radios back. John had a couple of his. He was trying to swap out. And I'm nitpicky on stuff like that. When we go out, before we even go to campsite, out to camp, I make sure everything I have is charged. I'm particular about that. I won't go out there and play any guessing games. Then when I get out to camp, I double check before we start using the equipment. Um, so everything was charged up. Flashlights, radios, whatever we need. Plus, I got two Echo Flow generators, not generators, but power packs. I used to keep the thing charged while we're back here. But they reported that. Um, when we walked down into another campsite that was not occupied, my camera I was using, my DJI Action 4, I've been using that now for several years. I've never had an issue with it. It started to pick up as we was entering the camp, walking up to a fire pit. Again, this campsite was not occupied. It picked up a hum or a buzz. I don't know how to describe it, like some kind of interference. And you hear
Supernatural chatter.
well, it started out slow, it increased in frequency, and then all of a sudden it just shut off. Like somebody flipped the switch on something, turned up the volume, and then turned the volume off real quick. We did not hear that. Luna did not act any different about that. Deep down, I felt it was not a bug flying by, because normally if you hear bugs fly by, you hear the different pitch patterns or wings when they're moving around and stuff like that. So I put that in the category of not being a bug to what is causing that to generate that interference. I've got that recording. I put that on my video I put on my channel. 2 nights later, I wanted to recreate that if I could. So I stayed back at camp. I gave Melissa my camera, and her, Drew, and Daniel went out again to the same campsite. They didn't make it down into the campsite this time, but they were right adjacent to it to the left. You walk up a little bit of a grade, maybe, and then you turn left to go down into the campsite. So that was that same exact area, not in it, but maybe 20, 25 yards up on the where the gravel road is. You could slightly hear that same tone come across again for a couple of seconds. You hear it in the background, it broke up a little bit, but it was definitely there. It got a little bit louder, then it stopped. It didn't last as long as the one I got, which is maybe 5 or 6 seconds long. Hers is about maybe 3 seconds. So whatever it was, it did regenerate. So now that confirms that was not a bug. I don't know what generated all of that stuff. It's got me baffled. There are no power lines in the area. There's no heavy equipment in the area. The only heavy equipment that would have been in the area was about 1.5 miles away, further into the mountains where they're cutting down a lot of deadfall. But they only work during the daytime. They don't work at nighttime for safety reasons, obviously. I don't know of any governmental stuff that is or has been in the area. I don't know what would have generated that for my camera to pick up, but nobody else heard. Luna didn't act any different. I'm still searching that for answers for that. And another weird thing is, each night I set out my parabolic mic to do overnight recording. I put it on a battery pack. I don't trust AAA batteries to last overnight. Plus, it gets kind of cool. You know how batteries react in cool and cold weather and stuff like that. Each night, for about 9 or 10 p.m., I turn it on, let it record overnight. Around 6 or 7 next morning, I'll go out, take the SD card out, download the data, clear the SD card, and put it back in the parabolic to be ready to go for the night, the following night.
David, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you this real quick while I've got audio.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who took something from the site?
I don't think anybody took anything.
Nobody picked up a stone. Nobody picked up any type of an object that they found.
Well, when it comes to stones, yeah. I mean, every camp out we go, Melissa's in the rock collecting pretty good big. Another lady that came out to camp with us for the first time by the name of Val, she may have picked up a couple. But she was only out there a couple of nights. She was only out there a couple of nights. She had to go back in and go to work. Now, Melissa does pick plants. She's into that medicinal things where you pick up plants and stuff like that to make your own tinctures and whatever all that stuff's called. She's done that every time we've been out there. So nothing
All
was
right.
done out of the ordinary during this last camp out compared to any other camp outs. What I'm trying to say.
Well, what I'm alluding to is the fact that it doesn't happen all in one time frame. It's been building up, and this is what I'm getting right now. Okay, as I'm being spoke to right now, by the elemental, is that it's been building up because bit by bit things have been removed from that location. And when you're dealing with elementals that are attached so deeply rooted into the environment, the ancient environment, I must say, long before giants and the fallen were around. Okay, um, these elementals are upset. Okay, because certain things were removed from that environment over a period of time. It could have been years, it could have been months, it could have been days. Okay, but what I'm getting is they are upset because these things were removed, but they weren't given anything for them. Okay, like I always say, when you go and you get gifted something, like when I was on my Humblation, my Vision Quest, back in the early 90s, I actually, after my Vision Quest was over, my 3 days of fasting and all that was over, out in the middle of nowhere, I looked down at my feet in the streams, and there was that obsidian spearhead that was in the stream. I immediately took tobacco out of my pocket and said a silent prayer and threw the tobacco on top of the water, and then I laid a pinch of tobacco on the ground next to the water, saying thank you for the gift, because that's the way they do things. And that's why I tell everybody, that can hear my voice, that when they go out and they deal with any type of the environment, I don't care if you're along the ocean shore, I don't care if you're in the mountains, I don't care if you're in a desert, you have to remember the earth is alive. Okay, the earth, Mother Earth, is a living, breathing entity. Okay, and everything upon her has spirit. And when those spirits get offended, that's when the weird stuff starts to happen. Okay, so that's why I tell people, when you go out in a good way, and if you take anything, you have to give something back. That's why I said put the feather in the tree with the red ribbon to
Right.
appease the elemental. Okay, you're making a peace offering, is what you're doing. Okay, and
Could
you know
could that also
if
be
you go
related to
on,
the tree cutting? The tree cutting that's going on back there?
it very well could be. It very well could be. It could even be related to the possibility of even poaching going on in that area, because I know somebody's been poaching back in that area. I can feel it.
Oh yeah. Oh, no doubt. I believe that too. They do a lot of hunting back there too during hunting season. Um,
So yeah, that's why.
well, she did put up the. You seen it? She did put up the ribbon and the feather and stuff like that, which is on the video that I put up. I thought that'd be interesting for people to see when they went out there at nighttime, to tie it up
Right.
into a tree, and in the same general location where Drew had those sighting of the entities he couldn't explain, and the orb of light, whatever it was that we seen. So it's in that general location for that. But getting back to the parabolic right quick, I can't explain this. I'm not an expert in electronics, don't get me wrong. But the parabolic, I love this parabolic. It's not cheap. It don't cost several $1,000s, but it's a very clean sounding parabolic. It doesn't generate its own hum like a lot of these store bought things do. That's all built into one component. You hear this static in the background constantly, and you're trying to listen to that to listen to what you're looking at. This one doesn't do that. It's just a parabolic. Then you plug that into whatever recording device that you're using. So it's if you've got a good recording device, you're going to get a clean sound. You're not going to get all that background feed compared to a lot of these store bought things. I'm not knocking them; they got their purpose. Don't get me wrong. But anyway, several times throughout each night. You can hear the crickets and sometimes whippoorwills and owls in the background. And then if you look, I guess it's called a spectrograph, the bar that comes up on my sound program to where you can look at the different frequencies and hertz and the pitch and everything. It gives you that
Exactly.
weird
Yeah.
looking pattern. You can hear everything in the background just fine. But every now and then, that spectrograph will all of a sudden jump up. And then either for a few seconds or for a couple of minutes, it's that steady increase, whatever it was, going across the bar. And then it would just cut off real quick. It didn't just rise up and rise down. It jumped up, went across, and then it quit. And when that happens, you could not hear anything from that. You could still hear the crickets and the normal background from the environment out there at nighttime, but I could not hear anything of what was generating, causing that spectrograph to peak up like it did.
Right.
Maybe with better audio equipment that has that capability to break each different things down, might be able to do that, but mine won't do that. I can do all my editing stuff and listen to what I've got. But several times throughout the night, which I'm going to keep those files, the spectrograph did that. Now, we couldn't hear anything. Luna wasn't acting any different to anything in the air. So I don't know what was causing that. I've never seen that before. Every time out there in Elkhorn Lake, I put out night recordings. I've never had that happen until this week. I don't know
Well,
what.
it's a communication. They were communicating to you guys, to you specifically, because they knew you reviewed the audio. But you know that hearing that buzzing, it's almost like hearing a buzzing sound going on, and that's because when they communicate, they're communicating not with their voice, basically, because being energy based, they're actually communicating with their vibration, and that is the sound vibration that you hear, that buzzing noise, like kind of like a mosquito or a beetle or something in flight. You'll hear that buzzing noise, and that's them communicating with you. Now, after she made that offering, did that communication stop or at least slow down some?
Uh, she made that offering the night they went out on that hike. She placed that ribbon and the feather out before they got to the other campsite. So she still picked up that frequency after she placed those items out. But like I
Okay.
said, it was not with the same intensity as the first one I got when I caught
They were
mine,
appeased.
and it
Yeah.
wasn't as loud. So I mean, she did get
They
that after she placed the stuff out.
they were actually calmed down enough. That actually calmed them down enough to know that you guys respected them enough to honor them by gifting them something. Okay, so of course it's going to decrease. It's kind of like when you're upset and angry and you raise your voice, but if you go back and you think about it the following day and you talk to somebody about it, your tone of your voice is lowered again. You're not as angry and as bitter. Okay, they're the same way. Okay, except when they do it, it's a vibrational thing. Okay, and sometimes when they're so upset, not only do you hear it, but you can feel the vibration. Okay, so that's the way they communicate. So yeah, if it toned down or slowed down or got less active in any way, shape, or form, that means that they were happy with what you guys did, and that was the whole point of doing it.
I'm
So
I'm I'm hoping that's the case. It's hard to describe what I got on audio unless you hear it. I'm doing the best I can. Uh, After that night, the following day, the 19th, everybody was gone but me, Melissa, and Daniel. We didn't do anything that last night. We just stayed back at camp. We relaxed. We did our natural overnight recordings and stuff like that. But we just relaxed. We relaxed the last night. Then we left the following morning. We packed up and left. So when we go back, we're going to be more in tune to what we're doing out there. And just an afterthought here, real quick, just to back up a little bit. This time we did have our EMF meters, and Jeremy brought out a couple pieces of his equipment for us to use. We got a little activity on that stuff, but nothing I can really pinpoint as far as being paranormal. And I'm just being straight up about that because I do know that radio frequencies will interfere with some of that stuff.
Well, remember what we said. Remember what we said, David. There is a difference between paranormal and supernatural. Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
There is a big difference. Okay. When you're trying to communicate with something paranormal, you're trying to communicate with something that is not ancient. Okay. It's not as ancient as an elemental. Elementals being the first energy source of anything on Mother Earth are going to be so ancient that their communication level is going to be much higher than that of the paranormal. Okay.
Right.
So
Well, we didn't set we didn't set the stuff out to try to communicate. We just set it out to see what would happen with this stuff. Daniel set out a couple of cat balls. One evening he got it on his video recorder, but I didn't get it on mine. If anybody don't know how the cat balls work, they have to be touched. They have to move for them to activate. Radio frequencies ain't going to cause them to flicker or anything like that. And they're not proximity to where you just get close. You have to actually physically move that cat ball and touch it.
Exactly. And that's what their abilities are. Their abilities being so ancient, almost, dare I say, almost borderline godly like, if you ask me. Having such abilities and strong abilities, they can do whatever they want. I mean, they can move things. They can do anything really.
The night that Daniel put his out, what intrigued me was he put two of them side by side. I said, Daniel, if you're gonna put out two, put two side by side to see if they both go off at the same time or just one. Well, only one went off, the other one didn't. And what intrigued me was it flickered for around 25 to 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to thinking, that did not look normal. So I went and got one out of my kit, because we got some cat balls too. I set it down and I touched it and I timed it. 3 times I did this. If you touch it, it will flicker for around maybe 8 seconds. Then it would stop.
Right. All right.
But on his, it was almost like 25 or 30 seconds. So
Right.
if you get an average to how long it gets touched and flickers and goes off, to this one had that continuous flicker for that amount of time. That was intriguing.
That's why I always tell everybody too, when they go out on an investigation, whether it's cryptid or paranormal, and if you take like the EMF detectors and stuff like that, or cat balls to interact with certain entities out there, whether it's physical or spiritual or whatnot, always triple check your equipment. Do your time checks. Make sure you have backup battery sources and stuff, or a way to recharge the equipment. Make sure you have extra film for cameras and stuff, or sound cards, or the micro cards for recording devices. Make sure your backups have backups, because things will occur, and especially if you don't go out there with the one problem everybody is experiencing when they're going out to remote locations and stuff is they're thinking, oh well, nobody's been here, and if they have, they didn't do nothing. Well, it's like you said, you got logging going on, you possibly have poaching going on, you have disrespectful people leaving trash everywhere, you have people that are taking things from the environment and not leaving a gift behind. So
leaving the environment trashy too. There's a lot of trash back there from previous campers they don't take out.
Yeah, see, and that all has a role to play into why the paranormal activity and the supernatural activity is so heightened there. Okay, is because of the negative forces and energies coming out of the elementals that are attached to that environment, that protect that environment, that are that environment, literally. Okay. And then you put on the fact that you're in the mountains. Okay, you're probably encamped on top of the remains of a giant. okay, a Nephilim giant. So you have that energy too. Okay, so it's like Eric and I have said, civilization is built upon civilization over and over again. It's a repeating cycle, and
Well, with
until
this area, with this real quick, with this area here, uh, there have been people that used to live back there way back in the day. I can't put a time frame on it. We have found foundations of an old homestead about maybe 100 yards from where we camped at. And then when Melissa and Daniel went out and drew, where I was picking up the buzzing sound on the DJI-4, they found another old homestead remnants of a pretty good sized foundation. And we need to go back there and check that area out more too. That was about maybe 50 yards from that campsite there. A lot of people probably don't even know it's there, but there's more things that came up during this last camp out that we need to check out more to see if that might come into play for some of the stuff. What kind of history? Normal living? I don't know. Make a moonshine? I don't know. Probably. But what kind of activity did people do back in the day? We need to get. This could have been in the early 20s. I mean,
it could have been ginsengers. It could have been ginsengers. It could have been anybody berry picking. It could have been anything really related to the environment.
Melissa and them seen, and where this one old homestead used to be, there's hardly anything remaining, but you still got your rock foundation and whatnot. You can see mortar in it. So I don't know when they made mortar to start building things. I can't put a time on that, but they did see things back there. But we don't take any. I mean, we're not into all that ginseng stuff like that. And you got to have a license for it anyway to be able to.
I urge anybody that hears my voice to please, when you go out and you're doing an investigation, like I said, whether it's supernatural, whether it's paranormal, whether it's cryptid, make sure you do it in a good way. If you remove something from the location, if you find a rock or a crystal or something, heck, even anything, okay? If you find something that takes and speaks to you, give something back, okay? Take a little cloth bag filled with tobacco with you when you go out, pipe tobacco, okay? Take some ribbon with you. Take a couple small feathers with you. These are things that the elementals will react to in a positive way, as David and Melissa have found out, and Daniel. Okay, that when you appease them and you show them the respect, I mean, you're sending forth a vibration in a positive manner, and that's how they receive it. Okay, they read your vibration. They don't listen to your voice. They read your energy. Okay, is how they do it. And if you have a way of showing respect and gifting them something, if you find something that you like and want to remove, then you need to do that. Okay, and I urge everybody that goes out, when they do that, make sure you have something to gift back, because you're always going to want to bring something back from an investigation. I don't care who you are, you're going to grab something. Okay, plain and simple.
Well, this last camp out was very interesting to say the least. And William, like I said at the beginning, you called it. The week before, you were saying we're definitely going to experience stuff out here, and I'll be daggone if we didn't. Eric, based on what I described on this electronic stuff and the spectrogram stuff, I know you do a lot of recording. You got any ideas or inputs on what could have been generating that, even though you couldn't hear it? I'm open to
there's several leading theories out there. Now, one of them, with your battery drain, you've seen it. If you watch my investigative videos, you'll see it all the time. They shut equipment off, or they're constantly draining my batteries. That's why I've always got recharging stations out there, extra batteries, stuff like that. I don't know what it is about supernatural and paranormal. There has been reports with cryptid as well, but when you're dealing with supernatural paranormal, you just plan on your batteries being drained or your equipment shut off. Like this last investigation I was on, I hit record And for some reason, 2 seconds later, it stopped recording, and I didn't find out till almost an hour into an investigation because I wasn't thinking, didn't keep an eye on my equipment, which is a rookie mistake that I made. That's very common. Now, these things are energy. These things, supernatural, paranormal, they're energy. So they have a frequency, a vibration that comes off to them. So there's times you're going to get weird sounding, almost like a static electricity or just like an energy field sound, period, when it comes to audio, because these things, that's what they are. So literally, you're listening to their life force. And that's one of the leading theories. That's one I subscribe to because it fits. And I could be wrong. I could find out something different later on, which changes my mind. But
Well, with
as of
with
right
you with you saying that real quick, two things I left out here I want to bring up real quick. I carry every time I go camping, I take an MP3 player with my 70s and early 80s music. I'm not trying to date myself.
now,
Every now and then during the daytime, I play a little bit of music, especially when I'm out there by myself.
Go for it.
The evening that Melissa was getting ready to go out camping, I was hiking. I was getting some of my gear together. My MP3 player was sitting about 3 foot from me at the edge of the table by itself, turned off. I hadn't had it on for a couple of days. I seen the light come on. I looked over at it. Something turned on my MP3 player. And this MP3 player, you have to hold the button in for about maybe a second and a half for it to activate to turn on. I picked it up, looked at it, turned it off, set it back down. Nothing else happened with that. Now, my DJI Action 4, when I set Melissa up to take that hiking, I set her up in the chest rig. That way the camera would be in the center of her chest. Before they went out on the hike, we were still at camp. I heard her yell at me from the fire pit where they were all sitting at. She says, "David, your camera just turned on by itself." I didn't touch nothing, but she knows the way I am about my equipment. Okay, I showed her how to operate it though.
They were telling you to hurry up and give the offering.
Well, she turned it off, and while I was in my VBOR around my equipment and stuff, that's where I keep all my stuff, keep it out of the weather, stuff like that. She came walking into the VBOR and says, "Look, it just turned on again. I ain't touched nothing." So 2 times in less than 5 minutes, my camera activated by itself. It's never done that before. I've been using this DJI Action 4 now almost 3 years. I've never had that issue. That was the only 2 times I did that, but this is the same night they're getting ready to go out hiking for that. I mean, I just found that intriguing too. There's just so many things that came at us all at once during this week. It would put if a skeptic went out there, it would actually cause them to go back and go, or they're going to run and go back to the couch and cough and since none of that happened. I mean, you got people like that too. But I just want to put that out there real quick. Those 2 other things that happened. And there's witnesses to that too.
And another thing that people forget, and because I run a parabolic mic, and I've got my parabolic mic hooked up to a digital recorder. Okay, I have 2 digital 360 recorders, and my smaller one I use when I'm using my parabolic mic because it doesn't have the range that my other one has. So I'm always running a digital 360, and I'm also running a parabolic mic that's hooked up directly to my other digital 360. And I've got a band that goes around my trigger, so it's constantly recording. Because like mine has a 10-second record time on the parabolic mic.
Right.
Well, I'm not record 10 seconds at a time. So I've literally got my digital 360 hooked up into the headphone mic that goes into the mic of my digital 360. That's Velcroed on top of my parabolic mic, and I've got a strap that holds the trigger down. So I'm constantly using that technique as a recorder. I mean, you've heard it with your own ears, the stuff I've caught on vocal wise with that setup. I mean, it's a very effective setup. And another thing, people's always talking about that hum. It's not just the paranormal and supernatural that puts off an energy sound. The living does as well. And people forget that very aspect right there. The living puts off an energy sound as well.
Okay.
We can't hear it, but on a parabolic mic, you're going to hear it. Because it's amplifying the sounds beyond the human hearing. So a lot of times when hearing that hum, you could be picking something up living as well, because the trees, the rocks, the grass, the plants, humans, animals, we all put off an energy sound. We just can't pick it up with our human ears.
And so all this is almost overwhelming with what William had us to do based on his knowledge and everything, than what we experience and other people's input. It just makes us just want to keep going out there, get the direct answers, and I guarantee you that I know Melissa will, and I'm gonna back her up with that. I know she's gonna start carrying more stuff out there based on what William has suggested. Because if this stuff is happening, I know you get a lot of skeptics out there, but if this stuff it truly happens, okay, it truly happened to us. We're going to take any other steps necessary based on anyone else's suggestions, like Williams, to try to either cleanse, help, calm, whatever the case may be, to keep things as easy as possible when we're out there doing the research that we do. I mean, I just find it intriguing. Again, William, thanks for that recommendation on that. And again,
sure.
I'm not trying to promote my site. I'm not. I don't have my YouTube channel just to put a bunch of fluff on there to get people to come. I don't do that. If I come across things that are interesting, that can raise questions,
only thing I got, David, is right there.
I'm on my laptop. I can't see it. I had to shut my computer off so I don't get feedback. But I'll put reviews on there, the equipment that we use. That could help somebody. But if I come across anything that's interesting, that's the stuff I'm going to focus on. I mean, I can't put 3 or 4 videos on there a week just to get a library. That's not about me. I'm not into it for the money. As far as that, all the equipment we have, we bought ourselves. We're not sponsored. We don't make money from it. But I mean, that's what I'm about. And until you hear what we recorded, it's hard to describe. And if you're not out there with boots on the ground, a lot of people ain't gonna have any concept of what you're trying to describe. But I mean, power to them.
That's the whole.
I mean, they could be a denier all they want. I don't care. But until you experience what we're doing, I'm gonna put it out there, and the people could take it for what they want. I mean, I'm a big man. I ain't got no feelings to hurt, ego to bruise, or nothing like that. It happened. I'll put it out there, and I'm asking for answers and suggestions, and maybe other techniques to use to enhance.
Well, something that people forget when you're out in them woods, it's not just the living and the dead that you're dealing with. You're dealing with elementals. You're dealing with fae. You're dealing with demons. You're dealing with several. I mean, the list goes on of different types of stuff that's in them woods. People don't realize them woods is not secluded. There is life forms. It has a history. Yeah, it is. The woods literally are histories. And when the native people said that the trees can talk and the rocks can talk and all that, they're not lying. They talk. Not. We just forgot how to listen. And sometimes we hear it, but we don't know that's them saying something. And we take it up as, oh, that's background noise, or oh, that's static. That's them talking. It was just we forgot to learn how to listen.
Exactly.
And so I mean, there's a type of methods when you go out there with tobacco, which I usually have dip because I dip. So I mean, that's most commonly the type of tobacco I take out with me. It still works. I've had success with it. I do take the pipe tobacco out when I have it. Always do that. Like we always say, go out there with respect. It's like we always say too. Your thoughts are like arrows that soar across an open field. Whatever you're thinking, they're going to pick that up. So don't go out there going, "Hey, I'm going to find Bigfoot today," or "Hey, I'm going to find." No, you can't do that. No, go out there. Go
let
out there
things happen naturally. Yeah. Let it happen naturally.
Exactly.
Well, in a minute, I'm gonna get off of here. That way, if you got anybody else in backstage that want to come on, but I'm gonna say this real quick for those that are listening. William's background, Eric's background, my background, and Melissa's background. We are not the type to jump off the cliff and try to confirm everything as being this and that paranormal and Bigfoot stuff. We want answers, as Williams always says. Question everything. when we put stuff out there, listen to what's being said and come up with your own answers on it. Because I'm telling you, I've experienced things now that I've not experienced before in my life. And I'm not just saying that to try to jump on board with a lot of this other stuff you see on YouTube. I mean, there's people out there on YouTube that's got communication with Bigfoot 3 or 4 times a week and watching them have babies. Come on, be for real here, okay? Just listen to what we got to say. Take it as you want. You got to remember the backgrounds that we all come from. We have a different way of approaching things, to be analytical about things, to try to come up with answers to find a solution. You're not always going to do that. If you do debunk something, fantastic. If you don't, that's going to leave the door open for more questions, leading into more questions for more research until you come up with some kind of definitive conclusion to what you may be experiencing. This last camp out is an open book. We will be going out doing the same techniques, including some things that William suggested, and just let things unfold as they unfold. We're not going to start throwing things in there so we can to seem like we're trying to embellish what's going on. We're not about that. We'll do our research the same way we've been doing it, incorporate a little bit of things here and there, because if what we're experiencing is real and it's happening, you cannot step back and say, well, that stuff is just fake. Folks, it doesn't work that way. Until you experience it and get off the couch, put down that coffee cup, get out there and see what's really out there in this world, on this planet. It will open your eyes.
That leaves me out. I want my coffee and I like my comfy couch.
I do take instant coffee, but I don't take it on a hike. It's waiting for me when I get back.
I'm joking.
Something that we like to do, and we all do this, is we're constantly evolving our techniques. Like this last video I just put out, it's on the members only page right now on that my neighbor's paranormal investigation. He called me in. I actually used 2 different techniques on there I've never done on a reveal. And because of what happened during that reveal with these 2 techniques that I've never used before, there's something more that I'm going to continue doing. So we're constantly trying new things, constantly involving our research, constantly evolving our investigations, constantly evolving our approach. Exactly.
Well,
exactly. I mean, you're never going to know until you try it. It's either going to sink or swim. If it sinks, great. We don't use it no more. We may try it a couple more times just to make sure, but if it don't work, it don't work. We don't use it. If it works, we continue to use it.
And one thing I'm going to get off here real quick. One thing I wanted to stress: anytime you buy equipment to take it out in the field to research it, learn how that equipment operates. I cannot stress that enough. People just go out and buy stuff. They don't know how it operates. They don't know the pros and cons and what to expect from it. They think they just turn on and go. Investigations don't work that way. Investigations do not work that way, folks. I'm telling you. I don't want to call him out. I'm not going to call his name out, but this last camp out, he bought I got 2 Zooms, but a Tasco. He bought a Tasco recorder. And the first time he's ever used a recorder. And it was a 360, it picked up everything. But he just said he can just turn it on, hand hold it, and go out there and record during the hike. But when he got to listening to it the next day, he was hearing all kinds of things. Well, first off, if you got a handheld recorder in your hands, the slightest movement of your fingers is going to transfer into that sound.
Exactly.
And now you're trying to listen to that for other sounds you may be picking up. And I stressed to him, I actually gave him a little handle that you screw into the bottom of it, so you're not actually holding it in your hands, to help him along in that aspect. But he needs to learn the frequencies, how they work. I don't mean to become an expert. I can't tell you the difference between a 24 hertz 16-bit versus a 96 hertz 16-bit. I know they got their place, but I'm not that in depth, but I do know each one's sensitivity changes. Learn your equipment, how it operates. You just can't turn it on and go. And you got to practice with it.
Well,
you've got to practice with it.
With what you just explained is the very reason why I try not to carry that stuff around with me. I find a location, I set it down, I walk away from it for 2 different reasons. One, because exactly what you just said, it picks up the little. You can have a silent fart, and it's going to pick that fart up. I mean, that's how much these things pick up. I mean, that's the truth. That's the best. It'll do it. You know, so that's why I love. That's one of the reasons why I placed it down and set it there. The other reason is I have, from my experiences on my investigations, you're going to pick up more activity by setting that somewhere and walking away than you are ever by holding it. That's why I constantly, that's every time I do it, I set it and I walk away. Hey, Josh. Hey, hey, Pancho. That's just for me. That's what I've noticed that works.
Well, you got to, you know, and you got to take advice from other people. I mean, there's more than one way to do things, but if you don't know your equipment, you're basically shooting in the wind. With that said, you may have people in the background that want to come on. I'm going to get off of here. My coffee cup is empty. Huh? Not yet?
No, I haven't had anybody tell me yet.
Well, that's fine with that. But again,
we can rotate. It's no big deal. I mean, I know Corey probably wants to come on and share some encounters. So
I'd like to hear some more about what's going on out there. I'm gonna sign off for here. It's good talking to you all again, and thanks to everyone in the chat for listening. But that's what we encountered on this last camp out. And
let them know you can.
The journey's going to continue. Trust me. I mean, plus it's fun, you know. And hopefully I don't come
sound wave
some kind of food out there.
He was coming on.
Okay, I'm gonna let you all go ahead and do that. I'm gonna leave the studio again. Good talking to y'all.
See you,
brother.
David.
Take care.
All right. Sorry, Soundwave. I didn't know you were coming on. So we'll bring Soundwave up here for a second. Corey, I've got you on the list for next. Hey, Soundwave.
Hey, I was just going to kind of chime in there and kind of say that not all these Bigfoots are going to look the same. And
exactly,
they all are going to look very different, sometimes just the way people do. And what I learned about mine in my area is these things are just ultra quiet. They don't do a lot of yelling and screaming like you hear in other states in the mountain regions or in Ohio, stuff like that. They're very quiet down here in South Florida. The only time I've ever heard any aggression is usually because people have managed to get them mad or disrupt their family unit area or something, and they'll make a ruckus in front of them, try to scare them off. But generally, I noticed that if you really are aware of them and you're thinking about them a lot, they'll find you. I don't understand. It all changed for me when I started becoming more and more aware of it and started paying attention to the signs, because when you're used to what's in those woods already, when they do something, it just pops. You know, like you'll see the areas where they're hanging out. You'll notice their tree X signs. All of a sudden, things would start to pop out that normally wouldn't be there normally, as you know, when you're normally out in the woods. So to me, it stands out when they do something. But you know, in the past, when you didn't know about them and you weren't looking for this stuff, you may have walked right past it and never thought about it.
Exactly. And that's the problem too with people nowadays, Soundwave, is they don't realize that there is something happening in their environment around them 24/7. Because they don't see those energies. They don't see or feel on the spectrum that we need to be on in order to see all these other activities around us. And you know, if people are having supernatural encounters and stuff, then and paranormal encounters and cryptid encounters, then that just means that they are open-minded enough to experience those things. So it's kind of like a way of communicating with those abnormal type of beings. Okay, and I say it in that manner because to me, if you live like the old ones did back in the day, you know, of my people, if you lived in the environment day in, day out, you didn't wear sneakers and shoes and boots. You didn't, you know, you were part of that environment every second of the day because your life depended on it and the people depended on you providing for them, okay, your nation. So you would build a respectful energy for the environment, which actually feeds into the elementals of the environment, which actually feed into the energies of the cryptids that are in that environment. It's like a domino effect. And that's why I tell people, when you go out in a good way. You have to do it that way. If you go out with the intent of being angry or bitter or poaching or trashing a campsite or whatnot, you're going to only have bad things happen. And it may not happen that same day that you're out there, but I guarantee when you go back to that location, if you ever do, or somebody else does, they're going to start experiencing things. And that's why we have all these encounters nowadays. It's opened up a doorway to it. There's so much going on, and disrespect to Mother Earth and to all the elementals and to all the wildlife, flora and fauna that are part of that environment that you're camped out in or doing your research in. That energy is sucked up, and those negative energies are going to come forth. And maybe that's what's causing a lot of the aggressive nature in a lot of the Bigfoot things when dealing with hunters and stuff, when they say that they were so angry and demonic looking and red glowing eyes and all that. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe they're picking up on that negative vibration that is in the environment because of what's been done repeatedly, time and time again, and hasn't been healed. So that's just a thought.
Well, something else you got to do is you got to go out there to respect. Once you go out there to respect, you're going to have more an encounter. The more you respect you are, and if they do take to you, which these things are known to latch on to people because of their attitude and how they are. If they latch onto you and they like you and they accept you, you're going to have even more encounters than what you've had before. So that's something to keep in mind as well.
Well, I've been very close to mine, but I was very curious about this. I hear people call them skunk apes and stuff. I've never really smelled them. Mm-hmm. And I was curious of what that's about. I spoke to a native that I know, and he said it's a gland that they have that gives off the smell.
Yeah, I heard also what that's about. Yeah, I heard also that it was a gland that was in the palm of their hand, and that when it's secreted, it's kind of like, how cats will, when they're outside, will spray on a certain location to mark their territory and to show other cats when they're going to return to it. I think it's the same principle. I really do, when it comes to that smell and that oil that is part of their secretion. And I don't believe it's all of the Bigfoot and Sasquatch that do it. Okay. I think it's only certain kinds. Okay. Because like you said, with humans, there are certain types. There are different individual types and clans of Sasquatch and Bigfoot. Okay. All around the world. And each one may do something differently. You know what I'm saying? So it could be that. That could be why you're not smelling anything in certain areas, because you're dealing with a clan or a breed of one that doesn't have that capability or doesn't want to do that capability of marking territory. So just a thought.
Well, I've heard people. Could also
be they have a chemical they put out that we may not be able to detect with our nose. I mean, that's also a possibility too, because we know certain things, or not everything has the same smell when they mark. Everything has a different smell. So I've often wondered if that was the case in some of those situations where we can't smell them, if that's because they have a type of scent that we can't pick up.
True. Very true.
No, quit. You're not going to.
Well, I've heard people say that they stink so bad. And I was saying, well, why would you smell that bad? You're not going to be able to hunt food stinking up a storm. And then I'm sitting there thinking, I have so much water all the time around the swamp. And maybe that could be one of the reasons they're not stinking, or maybe they take a bath or something. Because I've never smelled them.
Well, and if you're in a swamp, as well as anybody there, Soundwave, that when you're in a swamp environment, no matter whether it's in the Everglades or if it's in Louisiana or Alabama or Mississippi or heck, even up here by me, we have swamps. It'll give off a gas because everything underneath the water is degrading, is breaking down, and gas builds up, and it smells like rotten eggs. It literally does. So when you're in that environment all the time, maybe you're just adapting. Maybe you're in a location of the swamp that has that buildup in excess, and that carries with you until you get it out of your system.
Curious.
Yeah, could be.
Is there ever any smell with any other kind of entities?
With the supernatural,
Every now and then you'll hear them with dog. Yeah. What was that, William? Sorry, man. We had a delay there.
Yeah, I was going to say that when you're dealing with supernatural entities, it's either like it smells a fragrant smell like a rose, or it's like sulfur. Okay, one of the two,
yeah,
and then
sulfur.
other things too. But when you're dealing with other cryptids, it could vary. Even paranormal. When you're dealing with spirit, okay, say you're on a ghost investigation, and you're in a facility, and a lot of people report the smell of cigars, or the smell of pipe tobacco, or the smell of perfumes, okay, because it's related to the spirit that is attached to that environment that you're in, okay, and that's how they're bringing forth and letting you know that it's them, okay. Demonic are known to do it, and who knows? I mean, cryptids could have their own, like Eric said, they could have their own scent, but it could be something that we can't smell because we're not capable of smelling it.
Think about this. How often does a dog have a smell and you can't smell it, but the other dogs do? They put off a scent that other animals can pick up that we don't always pick up. And so I think that's probably something that happens with these Bigfoot and dogmen as well. Because there is a few reports of dogmen having that decayed smell too. Most of the time that's associated with Bigfoot. There is some, not many, but there is some reports of that happening with them as well. Could that be their smell? Possibly. Could that be the rotten flesh that's stuck in their fur? Also possible. It's hard to say. We don't know. I mean, our ancestors did. We don't.
All
right, guys. I was just going to let people know out there that skunks do give off a smell, but also foxes will really stink up a storm. And if you ever smell a fox, they're very similar. A skunk will smell like a burnt rubber tire if it ever sprays your shoe. Just put that out there. Yep. I'll let you guys go and get on the next guy.
All right, Soundwave. You take care, my friend.
So we also got to think of this way as well. Everything is different, but everything's the same. And so once you learn how to distinguish it, I mean, look at a bear. If a bear is in the woods and they take a steamy pile and leave it in the woods, that's a smell you'll never forget. I mean, I'm sorry, but it is. I mean, anybody knows what I'm talking about, knows what I mean. I mean, it's not like anything else out there. If you're in the woods and you get familiar with these smells, you can start picking up what's going on, what's in the area by the smells of these things. For bear, that's one way of telling. You can always tell. It's like once you smell it, you never forget it.
Yep. Fox smells his own hole
yes,
first.
I've seen the video, Christopher. Yeah. No worries, but actually, I've seen the video, Christopher. They actually do. But I've ran across and so when I'm hunting deer, I'm looking for different signs. I'm looking for rubs. I'm looking for scrapes. I'm looking for scat. I'm looking for disturbed area. Their scat has a smell. The scat has a texture. Depending on what how moist it is and how the smell is, tells you how fresh it is. same thing with all this other stuff. You know, when I go on an investigation, I'm not just going on an investigation and going to investigate. I'm approaching this not only in a historical side, but a scientific side as well. Will you guys quit your fluffy butt? What is your issue, dude? You're jacking my stuff up, man. You're being no, get off my keyboard.
Yeah. Do we have anybody else that's going to come on, Eric, or is that it for right now?
Yeah, Corey's next in line. Hey, Gemini, you know, he's complaining about not having time putting makeup on, but you know, I told him that makeup's not going to help him. So we're just waiting on him to come in.
He doesn't have to put the eyeliner on and the rouge. Just tell him to get his fluffy butt on here.
Yeah. Rolling. Get them doggies rolling. Right. Get on here, Corey. Cole. Well, are you ready? You're not backstage. How are you ready when you're not backstage, Corey? What am I going to do with you, man? You buy them books, and what do? They stare at the teacher's butt.
Yep.
Oh, you need the link again? All right, man. Give me a second.
This is for you, Corey. This is for Corey.
Or it could be
that
one. Oh, I can't. Oh, I think is it this one? Oh, there you go. There you go, Corey. All right, man. The link's back in the chat again, bro. So
duck, Corey, duck. He's shooting.
I got one of them.
Shooting.
I got that one, but I can't remember which one it is. But it's got the Chinese guy on it. It's hilarious. And of course, you got to have one just for Roxanne, which is. Oh, that is. Hey, Corey, what's happening, bro?
Oh man.
Hey, when you said this is funny. When you said eyeliner, all my life these girls have always asked me, Corey, did you put on eyeliner today? And I'm like, why does everyone ask me? You've got natural eyeliner if you don't put it on. I said, well then I guess I got natural eyeliner because I don't put that shit on my eyes. And hey, this is an ongoing thing that I sit there when I meet new girls, new females, new women, they always bring it up. And less than a month ago, I got accused of wearing it. You know, yeah, so I don't have to put on my eyeliner. It's already on.
Oh God.
Hey,
that's because that's because Corey's a heartthrob.
I guess.
Yeah. Every time I meet a new girl, they're like, "Hey, man, you look good. Let's meet up." I'm like, "Okay, yeah." We go out there, and then I walk in the door. They're like, "Damn, Fluffy."
Hey, you don't look like you did your picture. You ever heard them say that when you guys are going in blind dates? That don't look like you in that picture.
Yeah, it's almost what do they call that nowadays? Catfishing, I think is what they call it.
Yeah.
No, it's me, man. That's just my upper half.
Anyways, I want to be the first to welcome Corey to the show, and it's great to have him on.
Thank you. I'm here all week.
And, what you got going on, brother?
Oh, just now Now I know why it's so fun to just stay in chat and start, roasting everybody. Or if y'all had me, William, you had me cracked up the other day, and I couldn't concentrate.
Oh, on Eric's show.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, dude. Generally,
Well, it's
nobody.
the truth. I put the proof out there. I put the proof and pictures out there. You guys got to admit, I showed
Dude,
y'all.
you was on fire. You were on fire that day. I mean, that was funny. I had to quit looking at chat to
When I
get
tell
my composure
when
back.
I tell you that there was when I tell you that I actually saw a large petrified penis in Utah in the desert,
Yeah.
I'm not lying.
Hey, ask Eric. Ask Eric about the picture I sent him.
Oh yeah.
What was it,
Giants are
Eric?
real.
Yeah.
What was
Oh,
it,
yeah.
Eric?
That dude, a mule ain't got crap on that dude.
Hey, how big was that vagina? That nipple and vagina.
Yeah, that my JJ was
Oh,
like, damn, I can't do shit for you.
Oh my God. Okay, we've gone off the rails right now, so we got to get back on it.
Man, recently activity at my house is starting to kick back up. It kind of died down there for a little while.
Uh-huh.
Like I guess you could call them the will-o-wisp, but it looks different in the house than you would see it outside. But I see a couple of them every now and then, but they're staying real low to the ground now. What in the hell is that?
The hell? Yeah.
I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about here.
Hey, Josh, death by snoo snoo. Yeah.
What is that?
That's the penis.
Oh,
The petrified
okay.
penis.
Well, that's a small penis. I can't even hardly see it.
It's in Kodachrome. It's in Kodachrome, Utah, in the state park there, Kodachrome, Utah. Okay, and I swear to God, you take that picture and you can actually see it. It's probably, I don't know, probably 40 feet in height, and it's it is what it is, man. It is.
There's some places it's got them. They're awful close together,
And this is
like
this
that
is the
giant
song
they had 2 or 3.
Yeah, this is the song that I put with that picture on Facebook. Anyways, that's what it was.
Do not let the Marine out. Do not let the Marine out. Do not let the Marine out. The
Hey.
Marine has to stay.
Share that. Hey, send that picture to William that I sent you, Eric, sometime. And
All right.
please.
Yeah.
William, did you get my email? Did you ever get my email?
No, I didn't. No,
Okay.
I didn't actually.
I drew a picture of that dream I had, and I was kind of wanting you to look at it and just see what you thought.
Send it to me again if you can, please.
Okay, will do. I don't like email because half the time, man, my stuff never goes through. I don't think Google likes me.
It could be. I was going to say it's definitely Google because Google's been censoring me big time with all.
Well, I was fixing to say it could be the company I keep on these shows. Hint, hint.
It very well could be. I'm not denying that.
Wow.
Hey, that's the story of my life, fellas. Wouldn't have it any other way.
I'm definitely not denying.
Did I? What's that?
I said I'm definitely not denying that.
Yeah. I mean, hey man, I've come to accept it and embrace it. You know,
Embrace
I
the
is who
suck.
I is. I is who I
Just
is.
be lucky. Just be lucky we don't hear this right now.
Hey, they like to throw in the with that too.
Yep.
Hell, I've pulled in my
man.
driveway. I pulled in my driveway here and that. You know?
No comment.
And still towed my truck. You know? Asshole.
Oh,
But,
God.
I don't know if I ever told y'all about this or not, but man, my daughter, when she started having some mental health problems and stuff, and I didn't realize how you know what I was dealing with yet. And I told her, I said, I mean, we just need to go get grounded, you know, and walk barefoot in the grass. And this was right before dark. And I took her to the football field, and it started getting dark. And we were just walking up and down the field talking, and we stop in the south end zone, and she goes, "What?" And I said, "Shh." And I started hearing this massive something breathing in this mesquite tree field.
Sorry.
And
I'm picturing you doing that to your daughter.
huh?
Quit. I'm not calling you. I'm picturing you do that to your daughter.
Oh yeah,
Would you
I
like to
did
take
that
my-
night. Hey, I was going, shh. But this thing was inhaling and exhaling, and it was so massive. There was so much volume to whatever was breathing that you could tell the difference between the inhale and the exhale coming from the mesquite pasture. But it was vibrating the back or the outfield fence at the volleyball diamond.
Huh.
Mhm.
When it would either exhale or inhale, one or the other, it would make that metal fence vibrate like the wind does it. But she goes, "Dad, I don't like this." And I said, "Do not run."
Yep.
And I said, hold steady. And about that time, from behind us, Corey. And that's exactly what it sounded like. Corey. Directly behind us.
Mhm.
So she turns to look, and I said, "There's nobody there." And she goes, "I'm ready to go." But this thing over here's got my attention. I'm listening and watching it. That thing back there don't really concern me. It's just jacking with me. But she don't, you know. Well,
I'll be right back.
we just, huh?
Mhm.
I said I'll be right back. I got to
Yeah,
do
bro.
something real quick.
Okay. So we slowly, you know, I tell her, hold on. We'll leave when we're ready. They're not going to run us out. And here's the deal. She thought all this was bullshit until that night. Because on the way home, she was a mess. And I said, "Let me guess. Okay. You thought that I was lying about all this whole time. And that hit you pretty hard." And she goes, "Yeah. And I said, "I told you I've never lied to you. You know, to a fault. I've never lied to her." But whatever that was breathing over there in that field was massive. And I'm talking it had to have been a scale of a giant to be able to do that, to breathe. Huh?
Do you think it could have been like a Bigfoot or a dog man?
If either one of those are that large to make that fence vibrate, this had volume like a when I heard it and felt it, it felt like the mouth would have had to been, you know, 8 to 10 feet around, and the lungs would have had to have been, you know, like 2 semis. I mean, I don't know. I went and got on Google Earth and looked at that pasture, and it's kind of creepy looking, but I know that football field is it's pretty active.
And it could have been something paranormal, supernatural too. It's just,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
we've discussed it multiple times that I'm a firm believer. Not only does Bigfoot have a soul and becomes ghost, but I think the giants. And this is a very misconception. There's no giants called Nephilim. Nephilim was the Jewish word for giant. So I believe these giants probably would have ghosts too, because there's too many stuff out there that you see something quite not made out, but it's extremely huge. So if they were able to turn into spirits as well, then absolutely I could see where this could have been, possibly a paranormal version of a giant.
I don't know. That may have been just something messing with me, but okay. The deal is, my daughter was freaked out by the whole deal, and then she was freaked out because I wasn't freaked out. And just like anybody, any other person, she thought that I was pulling a prank on her at first. I thought that before, but if I'd have known that was going to happen, I never would have took her up there. My intentions were good, but they say the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah. I got a closet full of skeletons that was paid by good intentions.
Yep.
But that stuff happened. Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting. Did you ever go back and try to look for like any type of evidence of something living being there?
In that mesquite field? Is that what you're talking about? Where I heard breathing come from? Yeah, I don't really get along with those people that own that property, so they're law enforcement. So
tomato.
Yeah. But
I'm just kind of curious, because that's going to give you a good idea if it was something physical or something, like supernatural, paranormal.
Okay, I got on Google Earth and I looked, and there is a kind of a drainage way that you could kind of see in that mesquite field that the air would have been perfect to shoot right through there and make that fence vibrate. I mean, that's what I did. I go and I looked for logical, clues as to what happened. But this thing wasn't the wind; it was breathing. It'd go, and you'd hear that fence go, and then it'd go, and you wouldn't hear the fence vibrate, and then you could hear the fence go. So, to me, that's something breathing.
If it's the wind, you're going to feel it. So you're absolutely right. The wind will vibrate a fence. It absolutely will. A high wind will vibrate.
That's how I recognized it.
Here.
But now if you got a little,
if it's that strong a wind and you're not feeling it, you can pretty much eliminate.
It would vibrate, and then whenever it would do its inhale or exhale on the opposite end, you didn't get any vibration from the fence. But when it went back to either inhaling or exhaling a certain way, it would vibrate. And, that means something's pushing and pulling the air.
Yep.
And,
these cats are being a big problem here, guys.
Oh, no.
Man, when you got too much pussy hanging around the house, it's always a problem.
They're starting to pick a fight with the older cat that we've been taking care of.
See,
her sibling I just buried her sibling a couple weeks ago in the back.
They can't get along.
Uh-oh, we lost William. William, if you can hear us, you froze up.
Yeah, they're starting.
Man, William, you hold still like a cryptid.
Oh, he's glitching up again. All right, we'll hang tight until William get fixed and get back here.
All
So
right.
yeah, I mean that's kind of clear. There he is.
Oh,
Nope, and nope, he's coming back in. What, Aurora? Hi, Mama.
he's gone and he's back.
Oh man,
That's what happens when you walk in both worlds.
yeah.
Yeah, these cats are getting to be a major problem here. They really are.
But
Yeah,
I don't know. I figured everybody was getting tired of hearing my voice and looking at my face, so I was going to let some other people come on. And anybody who hadn't come on yet, come on, quit being a puss.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi. Your God bless America, your claws. That one tickled.
But
I'm gonna
another thing, David. I don't know if he's still in chat or not, but like
cut out of here, guys.
All right, Ro.
see you, William.
Come on, honey, you're jacking me up, dude. My gosh, this is my life.
What do you think, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, okay, honey, you are ripping. Quit. Okay, hold on a second, guys. Hopefully this doesn't echo through my microphone. I can't keep headphones in with these animals doing what they're doing, or keep ripping my headphones out of my ears.
You sound just
Usually I'm
fine.
running. Okay. Quit. 9. My gosh. I gotta get back on track. These animals are being extremely needy right now. Yeah, David said he's here. With all those reports of giants still being around, it makes you wonder if that's not something you're dealing with.
Yeah, or something trying to impersonate something else. I mean, that's kind of that I used to not go with that possibility a whole lot because I really didn't understand it like I do now. But you know, you never know. That could be an elemental trying to scare you by thinking, you know, it could be a Bigfoot or a dogman.
Yeah.
Or, you know, it could be demonic.
Yeah.
But David, I wanted to tell you, I listened to a guy tell a story one time. His family had a cabin. I can't remember if this was in Montana or somewhere like that, but he was, and they just kind of shared it. Someone would use it, but he was going up there by himself, and he had a girlfriend, or a new love interest he wanted to take up there, and he got up there early before she got there and saw a dog man, and this thing had glowing yellow eyes, and he didn't say anything to her. Well, when she got there, he went out and met her at the car and said, "Hey, be sure you get everything out of your car you need." You know? Mm-hmm. And she said, "Why?" He said, "Well, I just don't want to have to running in and out at night, you know?" And she's like, "Okay, well, what do you think happened?" She forgot her phone charger.
Yep. And
she said, "I'm going to go out and get it." And he said, "Hold on a second. Hold on a minute. Just give me about 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And she said, "What are you doing?" He goes, he meditated for about 45 minutes. And he said he was watching when he walked out the steps. They both went together, and he put himself in between where the dog man was standing on the left side of the porch, put himself in between there and his girlfriend. And when he walked out, he was watching the peripherals. He said it was right there. He said as soon as he stepped out with her, the yellow glowing eyes went normal. And I think what it was doing it was using his vibration, his frequency and vibration, and he meditated and he put the fire out of that thing.
Or just let him know that he's not a threat.
Right. Whatever it did, it worked. Is what I'm, and
Yeah.
That story stuck in my head. Anything that I hear someone talk about that I think's legit and being honest, I put it right here and take it with me. My brain is full of that.
I wanted to come back on and tell you guys that I had to go to my phone because the internet was so bad on the laptop right now. So I'm gonna have to cut out of here, guys. So
Yep.
I hate to cut it short, but I got things I got to take care of, and I got Jacob I got to take care of too. So
Okay.
and, I got to do a couple things today. So we can continue this tomorrow if you want. So
Yeah.
But we're on the 2-hour mark anyways. So.
Yep. 2 hours and 33 seconds, 34 seconds.
Yep. All right.
Sounds good.
I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank the moderators and everything too. Thank everybody for coming on. Corey, you too, and Eric, thank you for being here. You guys go ahead and close it out, okay? I'm just going to cut off of here and let you guys close it out, okay?
See you, brother.
Right, sounds good. So, guys, make sure you catch William and I tomorrow morning on Sunday Morning Brew. Corey, you got anything going on?
Just this dog pestering me to death right here.
Oh, I've got a dog in my lap, a cat in my lap, a cat on my desk, a dog behind me on the floor. Yeah, I know that feeling.
Well, I've got an old beauty shop chair that spins, and he tends to get up beside it and start trying to push me in a circle, or get right up against it and start scratching and start making me talk like this. He's a pain.
For me, I've got campfire chats tonight. That's where you can come on and share your encounters. If you want to come on live, I'll bring you on live. That's the thank you, Roxanne. That's the Bigfoot conference, ain't it? I forgot about that actually. So that's, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, I won't have no shows October 4th and 5th, I think it is, or something like that, because or 3rd and 4th, because we'll be at, Roxanne and I are going to the Bigfoot conference there in is it Branson or Ozark? Anyway, so we're going to be down there for that. So I doubt I'll be home in time to do shows. Tomorrow I will be having a special guest, 1 Foot in the Grave Paranormal team. We're going to be doing some paranormal talk tomorrow. My good brother's a part of that team. We're going to talk about the experience we had together down at Indian Point. If you guys want to check that video out, it is on my YouTube. If you guys missed the first episode of the Writers Workshop that I had yesterday with special guest author D.A. Roberts, go check that out. Okay, yes, thank you, Roxanne. Yeah, I got a lot going on next month between the Bigfoot conference. I've got to go up to St. Charles for a couple days for a work deal. I got a lot going on next month.
Eric, I'm gonna need to get off here. This sucker's fixing to turn the table over.
Yeah, no problem, bro. So you guys make sure you go over and check out my channel, check out Corey's channel. Keep an eye out for Live with William tomorrow morning as well. And I hope to see you guys there. To my Ihin Yard readers, chapter 8 and 9 to Reign of the Draugr, Dawn of Armageddon is uploaded. Soon as I do the first edit to chapter 10, that will be uploaded in a little bit. I am getting some writing done. So until tonight, everybody, and until tomorrow morning, peace, love, and blessings to you all. Mods, thank you so much for your help. You guys are awesome. We appreciate you very much. And we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Through the mist we rise, a force unbroken, with banners high and hearts awoken. The sound of pipes, our war is calling. Like thunderous waves, our duty is falling. Stand tall, together we fight, with courage found in every breath. We'll fight like lions, defy our death. In unity our hearts shall sing, the legacy of warriors through every reign. With battle cries we forge our fate, in fields of valor we elevate. As shadows loom, our spirits gleam. Brothers in arms, we are the dream. Fearless, we take the night, with courage found in every breath. We'll fight like lions, defy our death. In unity, our hearts shall sing, the legacy of warriors through every reign. As dawn breaks, we know our name.